It is book month on TikTok, so I thought I would do this for TikTok and some other apps and talk about 10 books that I think that you should read if you're interested in your own health. So I'm coming up on, gosh, 3, maybe 4 years on social media doing video and classes on Facebook and Instagram, now TikTok. Share some of them on the X app. And so I've gotten used to hearing my own voice and seeing my own face. So I have been teaching you now for almost 4 years how to advocate for yourself when you go to the doctor, the nurse practitioner, the PA. So things that you've been told that aren't true, maybe not malicious lies, but things that have been hidden or things that just are not true. Protocols that really don't work, the science behind them doesn't hold up. And I read a lot of books by doctors and scientists who have references that I go look up. And then I read those and I create a video. A lot of these people don't do videos, some of them do. So I thought I would review 10 books, not full reviews, but show them to you. And the first one I'm going to show you is kind of an overview of health. Okay, so the overview of kind of general things that, what about fat, bones, cholesterol, food lies, exercise, nuts and seeds, testosterone, hormones, calcium, thyroid, breast milk. This is called Lies My Doctor Told Me by Dr. Ken Berry. He is a family doctor in, I think, Tennessee. He's gotten fairly well known. So that book pretty much succinctly tells you what I've been telling you for the past 3-4 years. Okay, you've heard me gripe about statins. I do not like statins. There are certain subsets of people that statins are good for and helpful for, but for the most part, not all of us need statins. A commenter on one of my statin videos said, well, I talked to my doctor about statins and he thinks that statins should be put in the water supply. That seems like a very idiotic thing to do, but I also heard that from several years ago from a doctor in England. So here's how you delve into cholesterol and statins and heart disease. 2 books, actually more than that, but 2 books by Malcolm Kendrick. He is also a general practitioner. A Statin Nation, that one came out a few years ago. He gives you the history of why statins became so popular and why they're used so much. Lipitor, the #1 selling drug in history. It came out in 1996. And then follow up 2019, his view on the inflammatory nature of heart disease and the thrombogenic nature of heart disease. And this is called The Clot Thickens. It's a great book. He writes really well. He's funny. So he's talking about some pretty in-depth science and he walks you through it. And you're laughing while you're doing it. So he has a humorous take on a very serious illness. So worth a read. Pretty easy to read, except the middle part. There's some rough stuff. Okay, we've talked about weight loss. We've talked about ways of eating. There's been all this hoopla about little shots that you can take, etc. So I've got 3 books for you to consider. First is Gary Taubes. And this is The Case for Keto. So he goes through all the named diets that you've heard of. Atkins, Protein Power, Mediterranean, Paleo, ketogenic diet. He's a keto guy. And he tells you what all that means. The basis of all of them is a reduction in simple carbohydrate intake. And he'll tell you why and why he thinks keto is the way to go. Okay, and then the famous book by Dr. Jason Fung from 2016. This is the Obesity Code. He's a nephrologist in Canada. He got tired of treating type 2 diabetes and not fixing it like the narratives do. You're just giving people pills and shots and they're not getting better. So he delved into it. This is pretty well referenced, easy to read. He followed this up with the Diabetes Code. So why do you gain weight? Why do you have trouble losing weight? It is not your willpower. It's not calories in, calories out. That's too simple. Or, eat less, move more. That doesn't work. That's a yo-yo diet. So this is a hormonal issue, and he explains to you why it's a hormone imbalance. And then the diabetes code, if you've gotten type 2 diabetes, explains why and what to do about it and how to reverse it. This one is by a journalist named Nina Teicholz. The big fat surprise from 2014, she has a newsletter called The Unsettled Science, or Unsettled Science. You can subscribe to, like I do. She has a guest writer this week that's going to turn into a video sometime this weekend that should be interesting. She is a journalist this is like, I've got 400 citation references in it. The entire history of food and guidelines from your government going all the way back to like 1920s, 1930s, goes through the McGovern Subcommittee of 1977, which eventually led to the stupid food pyramid, which has made us all sick. She's very hard on Ancel Keys. The 7-country studies guy that came up with the cholesterol hypothesis. I don't think he was a bad guy. He was a scientist. I just don't think he was right. And his theories don't hold up. Okay, for gut health, I have a book by Dr. William Davis called Super Gut. He believes all health problems stem from gut imbalance and dysbiosis of the gut microbiome. And he tells you why. He tells you, I'm going to fix your gut. I'm going to teach you how to fix your gut health in 30 days, and then proceeds to tell you why that causes problems, how to fix it. He's pretty heavy into homemade yogurt recipes. And apparently his homemade yogurt, which I have not made homemade yogurt, tastes real silky and creamy, according to some doctor friends of mine that have done this. Okay, for cancer, I've got Tripping Over the Truth, and that's by Travis Christofferson. And he has resurrected research that came out in the 1920s talking about the metabolic theory of cancer, why you get cancer from a metabolic viewpoint rather than just genetics and toxicity. So it's based on a paper, I think from 2012, that's really intense science. So he kind of writes it so that the public can understand what the metabolic theory of cancer really is. The other doctor that got into this, and this came out in 2021, and some doctor friends of mine said this is the best medical book of the year. Jason Fung again, The Cancer Code. He goes through the history of cancer, the war on cancer, which was declared by President Nixon in 1971, I believe, how far we've come, or how little far we've come in the last, however many years that is, 50 years, on the war on cancer. We haven't done as much as you've been led to believe, and we've spent a significant amount of money. He also goes through the metabolic theory of cancer, and then at the end of the book kind of tells you what to do about it and how to eat, how to protect yourself. And then the overall kind of lifespan. This is from the famous David Sinclair, is a PhD. You can catch him on interviews. I think he's got a YouTube channel. Lifespan, Why We Age and Why We Don't Have to. So fascinating book. He is all about aging gracefully, staying healthy, being viable, but living a longer life that's healthy. Which, if you're going to live a long time, you want to be healthy. So that's 10 books for you to be able to read, if you like to read, which will help you have a dialogue and ask appropriate questions next time you see the doctor when they want to just give you a pill and you've read something in one of these books and go, well, okay, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. And then you have some evidence for having that negotiation. So I'll be back tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.